Om Shanti. Time has been moving so quickly that it seems incredible that it's just one more day before we meet Baba. Today is almost gone. Tomorrow one day, and then the next day we'll be thinking all day of invoking Baba and thinking Baba's coming, Baba's coming. And through the whole season, last time Baba gave us many, many different aspects of homework and told us that there were certain things that we had to do before we came back to meet Baba this season. And I'm sure that as you were preparing to come, not only were you packing your bags, but you must also have been thinking, well, have I been doing the homework that Baba's given me? And I wonder if it feels a little bit like a student feels before an examination. Is that right? Sometimes a student has prepared well, and it's not just a revision the last few weeks before the exam, but it's a question of having prepared through the whole year. And then, yes, the preparation in the last period. And then the student is quite confident that, yes, I'm ready to face whatever questions might come in my paper. And yet at other times, the year has gone by in fun and games, and there hasn't been enough attention paid to the study, and there hasn't been that time given properly. And so then maybe sometimes the student tries to catch up in the last few weeks before the exam, and there's a little bit of a question mark. Will I manage or will I not? And then there's a third type of student, and that student hasn't been studying well through the whole year, but also in the period up to the exam, again, still hasn't had that focus and concentration on the study. And so what are the feelings of that student as the exam approaches? And so three different scenarios, and where is it that I fit? And Baba always says that you don't even actually have to wait for the results, because you know yourself what your results are going to be. In the other exam, there might be surprises maybe, but when it's a question of studying with Baba, then you know what your results are already, even before the actual paper appears in front of you. Is that right? Correct? Why I'm saying this is because maybe as we approach Baba's meeting, we are very confident that, yes, when I look at Baba and Baba looks at me, I'll be very, very content that, yes, I did my best and I did what Baba was asking of me. And the others, maybe a certain student who feels that, well, I was trying, but it really wasn't what I would have wanted. And the other, the student knows that, well, I really didn't even try as much as I could. It's a good thing that it's a question of, even now, Baba being the merciful and compassionate one. And yes, in another way, because the university is the university of life, every single day there are questions, and every single day we are seeing how far we are able to deal with them, and we are seeing our own results. But on another level, we know that there will come a final moment when it will be the final test, the final exam. And all this period has been for preparation, for preparation. And so what's going on today inside of each one? Aware of that final moment. It was interesting that Daddy spoke about the final Diwali this morning in class. I know some of you have arrived only today, so you didn't hear Daddy's class this morning. But she was sharing something that some of you have heard her say before, that Baba said, this will be the last Diwali. And then on another occasion, Mama said, let each moment be your last moment. And so, have I been aware of this through the period up until now? Or even as I prepare to meet Baba now, whatever it is I've been doing up until now, I'm ready to put in front of Baba, and in that moment of connecting with Baba, I'm able to let go of whatever it is I need to let go, so that truly I can still take the help that Baba's offering me today. I think that for some of us, there must be the feeling that, yes, I paid attention to many of the things that Baba did tell us about, to stay free from obstacles, to stay free from anger. These were just two of the things that Baba mentioned. Or is it that for the first few days after I heard the Murli, I was aware of these things, and then somehow it slipped and went somewhere behind. But really that awareness that now Baba is coming, and yes, Baba has still that form of love and compassion, and Baba's still willing to say, okay child, whatever has happened, I'm willing to forget the past, but am I willing to forget the past and let go of that and be able to move on? Until how long will Baba's form of love continue and compassion continue? And yes, my heart says that Baba's love is eternal. Baba's love is never going to end. But I also know that God's role and the role of drama work together. And although God's love will never end, yet still there comes a moment when time runs out and it's not possible to say, well, just one more time, just one more chance. And so I'm feeling that this particular season, this particular time for us to meet Baba is a particularly significant one. And we're seeing the conditions of the world. We're seeing what's happening all around us. But more than that, I also see how much we receive from the ocean. 33 years of Sakar Baba and 41 years of Avyakt BapDada's sustenance. And so sometimes when people tell Daddy that, well, I didn't meet Sakar Baba, so I didn't have that fortune. And Daddy will say, but the amount of sustenance that you've had from Avyakt BapDada is greater than the amount of time we had with Sakar Baba. And it was interesting being in Karachi and several times through the year now, and you saw how where the sisters would stay with Mama and the place where Baba would stay, there's quite a big gap between them. And it wasn't that they were able just to jump into a car and drive off to meet Baba there, or even catch a taxi or a bus. Literally there just was no going back and forth in that way. Think about the 30s and the 40s, and especially the 40s being a time of total upheaval. And even today in Karachi, you don't see women out on the streets alone jumping into taxis and buses. Even today it doesn't happen. So the point of the story that it wasn't a time when they could just go off and meet Baba, or even that they would meet Baba every day. Although Karachi was a time in which there was tapasya and chaos all around outside, it was really still their own spiritual effort and their connection with God that kept them going through that whole period. And it was interesting seeing the very high walls of Kunj Bhavan where the sisters lived. And you can actually see that the original wall must have been about this. And there's a very different shade of color and stone of the extra wall that Baba had built, taller than me, so maybe about 6 feet tall. And so that additional wall was what Baba had built. So my point is that, yes, they were with Baba, and some of them had the fortune of living with Mama, but yet still, it wasn't a question of meeting Baba every day and having a murli from Baba every day, or being with Baba all day. Which is why when they came to Abu, although it was a time that was a complete contrast, the altitude was different from sea level to 4,000 feet above sea level, the climate was completely different, the conditions were very different, they were very harsh, there wasn't enough food around. It was immediately after the war, a big family, even a little family was having difficulties to manage. So in physical terms, the contrast was quite incredible. And so where it used to be that Baba was remembered as the millionaire who fed his children pistachios and almonds, the almondly was famous for that. And it was the term that was being used in the sense that they were being fed with very good things. Now, it was truly a time of physical hardship and poverty. And yet, when the Dadis speak about that time in Abu, it wasn't of the hardship that they speak about, but they always speak about the amazing experience of being with Baba and Mama under one roof, because that was the special feeling, the special experience. And so up on top of the mountain, now we're at the bottom of the mountain, but up on top of the mountain there you go to Bridge Koti, which is now a hotel, but now I haven't been inside since it got converted. But in those early days we would go for a walk, and it's way up on a cliff, and down below is a crematorium, imagine. So they were up there and down below a crematorium. And just in that space up there, the place that I saw many years ago was derelict, but it was huge, huge halls. It was the royal palace, the summer palace of the kings, Bikaner Palace. And at that point, it was very easy to see how, although conditions were so difficult, yet the love of being with Baba and Mama and the joy of tapasya with them and the meditation and the gyan and chat with Baba was very, very special. So really it was only 2 years that they had that sustenance with Baba on a daily basis. And then of course the period of service started and Baba sent them off here and there. And in comparison to that, since 1969, so since that period, 41 years, we've had constant sustenance, not just of the daily murli, but also of messages from Baba. We've also had the sustenance of the avyak murlis, 2 types of avyak murlis. Now, as we prepare for the fresh avyak murli, but also for the revision murlis, we've had that preparation too. And so I just can't imagine how much more a teacher could do for us. Last night Dadi Gulzar was saying that we've had the fortune of having the Supreme Teacher teach us. And yes, on one level you'd say that Baba's revealed all the secrets, the beginning, the middle and the end of the world drama, the secrets of the soul, the secrets of God, all of that has been revealed. But in particular, since Baba became Avyakt, and we are now studying those early Murlis of the 70s, 70, 71, 72 now, and Baba has taken up every single one of the virtues and every single one of the powers in such incredible detail that we can never say, but I didn't know. Today Baba was talking about churning, but our own churning is one thing, but just the fact that you don't even have to churn, Baba's presented it to you ready-made. The Sakar Murlis, you have to churn and find the jewels. The Avyakt Murli, especially those early Murlis, we're all reading them together now, we're revising them, and every single detail has been spoken by Baba. And so the Supreme Teacher has given us a huge amount of sustenance. And so am I a student in the way that Baba wants me to be. And for me, the great hope and faith is knowing that, okay, at any moment, however much I've done or I haven't done, Baba's still able to say to me, okay child, from now, just have that realization, and from now let there be that transformation. And so even when I look at my own chart and I say, well Baba, I didn't study as much as I should have, and study doesn't of course just mean listening to the Murli or even writing the points of the Murli down, but study really truly means keeping that awareness through the day and practicing that consciousness through the day. And so even if I haven't studied in the way that I would have liked to, yet still, from today even, how many hours is it till we meet Baba? Literally, I think it's about 47 hours still to go. I'm looking at the clock and literally it's about 47 hours that we still have remaining. And my hope is that, and my faith, that even in these 47 hours, yes, I can still make a commitment now and prepare myself so that I can say to Baba, yes Baba, even now I'm doing what it is you wanted me to do. Because just as it takes just one thought to create a samskar, you know that? It takes one thought to create a samskar. One thought, one action, and you lay the pattern. And you repeat the pattern, and there you have it. It's a samskar. And so it can be applicable both for the negative habits and samskars that we've acquired. And today Daddy was talking about our nature and how for many of us it's our nature that's become the block. And I say, but you know, my nature is like this. This is how I am. And so what am I saying to Baba? Okay, my nature is maybe not tamopradhan, not completely impure, but certainly it is in satopradhan, so maybe it's somewhere in the middle. And I'm saying to Baba, Baba, well that's my nature, I'm in that middling stage. And so am I saying to Baba, yes, that's okay, I'm accepting that that's how I am and that's how I'm going to stay? Or is it that I say to Baba, well I know that I haven't made the effort that I needed to make, and although even now it's Rajo Pradhan, it's the middle level, but even now I'm going to have that deep determined thought that yes, I want to be Sato Pradhan, and that deep determined thought even today is going to give me the power to be able to take that help from Baba and move towards my Sattva-pradhan stage. And sanskars take time to change. Why? Because there's an accumulation that I have from the past, and so my one thought can lead me in the direction of coming to the stage of Sattva-pradhan, but it won't make me Sattva-pradhan now, but it'll move me in that direction. But what can happen is that with one thought, I can let my buddhi, my intellect, come to that state of divinity. Absolute Sattva-guni. Absolutely that stage where it's not going to be influenced by anything else. And so that commitment we can give to Baba right here and now, and we'll be able to see how even that commitment today, in the next 47 hours, can help bring about a very, very big change and make a difference in the feeling with which I come to Baba in a couple of days' time. And so most of us, I'm sure, will feel that, yes, we started with that aim of wanting to do the homework, and then obviously when it's students, then it's number-wise. That's what it's about. The same teacher, the same study, but number-wise. So I'm not going to ask anyone to put up their hands or anything, but of course we know that it is number-wise. And if, yes, my feeling is that, yes, I really did what Baba wanted me to do, then my heart can feel very, very content and know that, yes, I'm taking all the blessings that Baba's waiting to give me, and I'm using those blessings to move forward. You have to earn blessings. Blessings don't come just like that. Baba's giving blessings to everyone, and yet how come some take the blessings and some don't take the blessings? So there must be some mechanism that involves me and my own effort also. And I think it's where I'm ready to say to Baba, yes, then that becomes a blessing and it becomes a reality. When we used to first come to meet Baba in the early days, in the 70s, we never used to use this word blessings from Baba. And so 69, Baba didn't meet everybody individually at that point. Baba would share them early, and of course it was in the small history hall or it was in Baba's room that we'd meet Baba. There was nothing else. The meditation hall came much later. But at that time, Baba would speak them early, and if there was a specific reason why somebody needed to communicate with Baba, and at different times people did, then Baba would speak with them. And then when the first group started to come from abroad in 74, Baba would spend time with each one individually, and we'd say there's a large group from abroad, and that was 12 people. There was a large group from abroad. And of course then the numbers began to change. But I think it was around 75, 76 that instead of just saying that I met Baba and Baba said this, our language changed and we started to say that Baba gave us this blessing. And then it wasn't no more the situation that if you had a specific reason to meet Baba, you would meet Baba, like you were coming or you were going or you had a special question for Baba, and it was quite interactive. But it was really that Baba would meet every single one, and the feeling was Baba's giving a blessing. And Baba gave us so many blessings, and still today in the Murli, Baba gives us a blessing every day. And yet, when the buddhi, the intellect, is completely clean, sattva-guni, pure, it's able to catch what Baba is saying, and it becomes a reality in my life. And then it's not effort. One is I make effort to achieve something, and the other is where I use this word blessing. I haven't made effort, but it's happening in a very natural way. And there we would say it's a blessing from Baba. And so when the buddhi is satoguni, when the buddhi has been made very clean, very pure, then that buddhi catches Baba's versions, and it's able to hold those versions and remember those, and it becomes that in my life. It's a blessing. And so, if I want to fulfill Baba's hopes even now, at this moment, I think this first step has to be that I just simply keep the buddhi very, very clean. And the tamoguni intellect, sometimes faith, sometimes doubt. The rajoguni intellect, yes, there's faith, but there's criticism also that comes in. It's not complete faith, it's not that absolute commitment to Baba, in which I know that, yes, absolutely, whatever Baba is saying is real, is true. But there's a little bit of a question mark that comes. And the satoguni intellect, where it's an intellect that's very pure and clean, in which there really is no margin for any question or doubt at all. Baba has said, and yes, this is what is real, and this is what I have to do. Not just that I believe that this is true, but I also take it as a gift from Baba that, yes, this is what I need to do in my life. And so where today Baba was saying, our thoughts, our words, our actions have to be the same. And so the buddhi capturing that from Baba and holding it and making sure that this is what I'm going to do all day. Not just that I love hearing what Baba's saying and it's beautiful and I enjoy it at that time, but then my life is something quite different. But the satoguni buddhi, I take it, I hold it, I use it, and I become that. And so the satoguni intellect, that which is following what Baba is saying and is doing what Baba is saying. Brahma Baba and the first visions that Baba had of Vishnu and the statement, Tattvamasmi, you are this, you are he. And Baba believed it and accepted it and very quickly became it. And today Baba's telling me the same. Child, you can be completely pure and perfect, but to what extent is this what I'm actually doing? So the satoguni buddhi, yes, I take it and I make it happen. And the satoguni buddhi really not looking around here or there to see what anybody else is doing, but really truly focused on what it is I am doing and what it is I need to do. In any case, one of the most important aspects of preparing for an exam is really concentration. And if a student lacks concentration, then you can anticipate how well the student is going to do or not. But if at least there's focus and concentration, then it's more than likely that yes, the student's going to achieve those results. And so here, concentration is not just on a written word, but concentration, ekant, ekagar, to go into the depth of one and then to have that stability of intellect in the remembrance of one and the awareness of one. It means I and God and nothing else in between. That truly is concentration and focus. And if there is anything else that's coming in the way, then that link of concentration has been broken and I can't do what Baba's wanting me to do, whether in terms of Gyan or Yoga or Dharana or service. I'll be doing everything, maybe. Yes, I'm hearing Murli every day. Yes, I'm getting up for Amrit Vela every day. Yes, I'm following Baba's Srimad in the list that's been written up. Or yes, even I'm engaged in doing service. But the experience of being the enlightened soul, where it's not just that, yes, I'm hearing the Murli every day, but there's a lovely expression that comes in the Gita, Jnani tu Atma Priya hai. God speaks and says to the child that God has love for the soul that is enlightened. And so is Baba's knowledge, that which is bringing me enlightenment. Do I feel that this light is shining? And am I able to keep this light shining? And I'm sure that each one knows what it is that allows this light to shine for the self, and what is it that dims the light a little. Or what is it that makes the light flicker so much that there's a danger that the light's going to go out? Careful, watch it. Am I truly that enlightened soul that Baba wants me to be? And if there is light inside the soul, you're approaching Diwali and you'll see the celebration with many beautiful lights here in India. It's really extremely beautiful and joyful. But the remembrance, that's the memorial, and the reality, the living lights, the light of the soul. And when I can feel this light that's shining, then truly there's no confusion at all. I know what it is I have to do, and I have the courage, the faith, and the strength to be able to do it. And that light is showing me the way, and so I'm able to keep moving. A very simple way to check how far I've come. The buddhi filled with God's knowledge is the buddhi that's really the vessel that's shining light. And it's light for myself, but if I'm holding a light in my hand, then not only is it light for myself, but it's also light for everybody else around me. So automatically, without even needing to say anything, that light is shining and it's showing others the path automatically. So I don't even have to think too much of service. One of the comments that Daddy comes up with frequently is, I don't like this word busy. And why she doesn't like this word busy is because where the intellect has become engrossed in anything, whether it's my Lokik family or whether it's my alokik family, I'm just occupied and engaged with thoughts of others, then definitely the concentration has been lost. Or even where I'm occupied with service, this to do, that to do, all these lists that I have in my head that I'm keeping, am I ticking them off, and how much have I done and how much more do I have to do? So that's not light in my life. And so to focus on the light within and keep the intellect so pure and clean that truly this light is able to shine continually and give me light in my life and be the light for others too. The feeling of that is that, yes, everything's okay, everything is fine, I'm moving in the right direction. A little bit of darkness and you wonder, am I going the right way? Is this how it is? Or is it a different way to what I should be going? And so today to feel that contentment within, yes, I am fulfilling Baba's hopes because I'm moving. Yes, I'm not at the final stage, but I'm moving in the right direction, and every step is carrying me to my destination. And I'm not stuck somewhere. If I'm stuck, well, I don't know when I'm going to reach. When you know that there's no traffic and the road is clear, you can predict and say, yes, in half an hour I'm going to reach my destination. If you're stuck in traffic, then you phone whoever it is you need to tell, and you say, well, it's already been half an hour and I have no idea how long this traffic's going to last, and I have no idea when I'm going to reach my destination. And so being stuck is that, literally. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to my destination. And so yes, the feeling that Baba has hopes for me, but I'm beginning to lose hope in myself because I feel stuck and I don't know how long it's going to take. But I come back to Baba and I let that light again stay lit. And I make sure that I don't allow anything to erase that light, to extinguish that light. And then I say, yes, I know I'm on track and the destination's coming closer and closer and closer, and I know I'm going to get there. When there's light in the soul, then the Sattva-pradhan, the Sattva-guni intellect is able to see very clearly the self. The intellect that's the middling intellect is so busy looking at everything else that it doesn't really know what's going on in the self. And then of course the blame and the complaint, your fault, this one's fault, why did this happen, this shouldn't have happened, all of those stories. But the Sattva-guni buddhi, the light in the self, I know myself. And I know what it is that's going on inside of me and what it is that I need to change within myself. And I know that, yes, with Baba's help, I'll get there. I'll get to that destination. And the second thing, the subject of yoga and the Sattva-guni intellect, clean, clear. And so when I choose, I'm able to connect with Baba and I'm able to hold that connection and experience that connection over a period of time. When Baba gives us homework in terms of all the different drills that Baba has given us, it's because Baba knows that I need to have a mechanism to come back again to that connection again and again. Yes, the ideal where the loving relationship with God is such that my mind doesn't go anywhere else and I'm just connected and full stop. It's always there, it's always there. Like you see with the daddies. Baba is not that far away from their thoughts. Baba's within their thoughts at all times. And then for most of us, we need the drills that Baba keeps giving. At different times, different drills to engage us, to keep our intellect interested and engaged. And so, even if until today, whatever I've done or I haven't done, the next 47 hours are critical. Let me be able to keep that connection with Baba, the intellect so pure, so clean, that instantly God is able to be present in front of me. You know how sometimes Baba says things that really touch you very deeply. Well, last season, and maybe even seasons before too, but certainly this last season, Baba had said, I live in that intellect, which is a clean intellect. When people ask you, where does God live? Tell them, God lives in my heart. God lives inside of me. And I'm not teaching you omnipresence. Those are concepts that Baba told us are very different to what the reality is. But it was Baba who told us this. When Baba has love for the children and the child has love for Baba, then Baba lives inside that one's heart, inside that one's intellect. And so is my intellect that clean, that it's able to hold Baba inside of itself. And if not, then let me do the cleaning that I need to do so that I can feel Baba's presence with me at all times. And yes, then I know that not only Baba's presence, but Baba's presence means Baba's protection. When I think about the history of the yajna again, and history in the yajna is not ancient history, but it's living history in the sense that these dadis and the things that they went through, it's the history of our lifetime. It's not ancient books of the past. And in the history of our lifetime, we know about the things that happened in the 40s and all the chaos that was going on during that period. And Baba's guarantee, not a hair of the head of the child will be harmed if you keep your stage of yoga. If I have a question, does yoga truly bring protection? Well, maybe I've experienced it in my own life, but if I haven't, I can still look at the story of the dadis and its real history. Just simply the power of yoga and 60 young girls in a house in the middle of the city, and Kunj Bhavan is right in the city, it's not far away somewhere in Karachi, it's still in the city, and it's surrounded by all the chaos that's happening everywhere all around. And those sisters remained completely safe. It wasn't that they had guards on duty outside. The sisters were the guards who walked around the house at night to keep things calm, but it was yoga power. Baba told them it's not guards who can save you, but it's yoga power. And so today also, if I keep my intellect so clean, so pure, Baba is able to come and stay with me, and Baba's presence is able to give me protection and blessings and keep me safe. And as times become more and more chaotic, I don't know whether you've been in situations where you've actually seen the chaos in your country become worse and worse and worse. Who's actually seen that in their own country? $25%? That's all? You haven't seen the chaos in your country get worse and worse and worse? I've seen it in London. I used to travel maybe to places like South America or somewhere and come back to London, and I'd feel safe. I'd feel that I'm in a civilized place. Today I don't feel that anymore. And London is definitely not a safe place to be living in. Never mind anywhere else in the world, but a place that I used to feel is very civilized. Now, especially the place where Baba's home is, just a little way down there, and you can see the drug wars going on, you can see the police coming and all sorts of chaos going on. And this is London. And there is nowhere external that they're safe anymore. But yes, Baba's children are safe, because the safety is because we keep Baba here. And so Baba's presence here is able to give us that feeling of safety and protection. And so let me be able to feel Baba's help here and now today, and then I know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow in terms of situations, but I know what's going to happen with me tomorrow. I keep Baba with me today, then for tomorrow I have the guarantee. Baba will be with me, I will be with Baba, and there won't be anything that can touch me at all. The third subject, the subject of dharana, the divine virtues. Sometimes through a season, Baba speaks of humility, sometimes Baba speaks of sweetness, sometimes Baba speaks of purity, different things that Baba would take up Just as a teacher will take up different subjects each lesson, in the same way every Murli has a different theme. And Baba's just reminding us that you need all those virtues, everything all together, not just one, but everything, so that the soul truly has that all-round fullness, like the full moon. And on the one side, content with myself that yes, I'm making sure that there's nothing but jnana in my awareness. On the other side, content in my relationship with God. But the third thing, I have to learn to create contentment in my relationship with others. At the end, it won't be possible for me to say, well, Baba, I was okay, but it was they that were causing a problem. Can I say that to Baba? Oh, Baba, it was their fault. I won't be able to say that. But if I'm filling myself with divine virtues, and the Sattva-guni buddhi, the buddhi that's clean, is able to imbibe virtues within itself. The buddhi not clean, and I can't even see to what extent I have filled myself with virtues or not. But the clean intellect, and I'm able to see myself. And then a very, very powerful mirror in terms of how far I've come and what more it is I have to do, is the quality of relationships with others around me. The contentment that I feel from them and the contentment that they feel from me. Are they content with me? That's going to be part of the final exam. Are others content with me? I can't say it doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm fine. That's not how Satyug will work. And the foundation for Baba's study today, the other day we were thinking about if somebody says, well, what's the point of your study? What's the essential thing of your study? And we'd been talking about that question the day before, and different people had said different things. The next day in the Murli, Baba said, the purpose of your study is to create a world of Satyug. And so what are we going to do? Create palaces? That'll happen. I don't have to think about making up the plans and finding the engineers and the architects. It'll happen. But what I have to do is lay the foundation of the relationships of Satyug. That purity, that love, that care, that compassion, that kindness, that humility, that divinity. So that's visible today. And so my interaction with others and the quality of my exchange with others tells me how close or how far I am from the destination. So me content with others, meaning my heart has unconditional love for them. Not that today I love them, and then because they've done something that I disapprove of or that I wouldn't want them to, I withdraw my love. But love that's unconditional, whatever their sanskars, whatever it is they're doing, but I'm still able to love that soul and be content with that soul then. But also then for them, are they content with me? Or is it that there are things that are creating upheaval and waste thoughts in them? And who's responsible? I'm responsible. There was a very interesting thing that Daddy had said about Dada Vishwaratan. And how many of you knew Dada Vishwaratan? He's been around just until recently. Dada Vishwakishore, I think maybe there's 5 people here in this hall who knew Dada Vishwakishore, right? You must have seen Dada Vishwakishore. Maybe 10 people in the hall. Vishwakishore left in Dada Vishwakishore left in March 68. So I don't think you saw him, Gopi. March 1968. you saw Dada Anand Kishore. Right? So when he was saying yes. So before Brahma Baba left, he left March 1968. And Baba would say he's the right hand, and sometimes he's been remembered as the second Krishna, the second Narayan. It's a very special soul. But people get confused with all these Vishwas and the Kishores and the Anands, and and so. But the one that left most recently, that Vishwaratan, and why I'm mentioning him is because he told Daddy, and then Daddy shared this with us. I make sure that my behavior doesn't cause waste thoughts in anyone else. If I'm causing waste thoughts for somebody else, that's a burden for me. And so my dharana, my inculcation should be such that I'm content, they're content, no margin for waste thoughts. So these three things for attention. And as I say, even the attention over the next couple of days can make a big difference. The last subject I'm not going to speak about because really it's automatic. Pay attention to these first three, and where you go, where you are, what you are, that shines, that radiates, and it brings souls closer to God. And so I don't have to make plans about this thing, that thing, the other thing, and the other thing. It'll happen. God's responsible, it'll happen. The clock's ticking on, and I know that it's time for yoga, but also that we've got other things happening after that. So, am I fulfilling Baba's hopes? So, a checklist for you to see. Om Shanti.